Judge Ural Glanville, presiding over the young thug trial, has declined to recuse himself despite allegations of an illegal meeting with prosecutors and a witness. Greetings, everyone. Today we will be discussing an intriguing subject related to the trial of young thug's gang, specifically the decision made by Judge Ural Glanville not to recuse himself despite allegations of an undisclosed meeting with prosecutors and a witness, which has been deemed illegal. The rapper's legal representative argued for a mistrial, asserting that Glanville had developed a bias. However, the judge dismissed this motion, citing a lack of substantial evidence. The trial revolves around accusations of criminal behavior involving Thug's group, known as YSL. The defense attorney further accused Glanville of pressuring a witness to testify, resulting in a contempt charge against the judge. Without further delay, let us begin our discussion. Despite allegations of an illegal secret meeting with prosecutors and a star witness, the Atlanta judge presiding over young thug's gang trial has declined to recuse himself from the case or declare a mistrial, rejecting a motion filed by the rapper's legal team. During a court hearing in Fulton County, Judge Ural Glanville dismissed the claims made by Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, asserting that the judge had lost their impartiality and had aligned with the prosecution. The ruling was made shortly after Steele filed a motion, contending that the undisclosed meeting with prosecutors was an irreparable mistake. In the motion, Steele expresses that the court has aligned itself with the prosecution, thereby impeding Mr. Williams's constitutional entitlement to a fair trial. Steele refers to Mr. Williams by his given name, Jeffrey Williams. The motion asserts that the court's involvement and the actions of the prosecution have infringed upon Mr. Williams's rights, necessitating the recusal of the court and the dismissal of the indictment following the declaration of a mistrial. During the ruling on Tuesday, Glanville determined that Steele's accusations were solely comprised of unsubstantiated claims and legal assumptions that do not meet the court's requirements for granting your motion. Additionally, the judge declined to halt the trial or permit an instant appeal to a superior court. In May 2022, Thug and a multitude of individuals were formally charged for their involvement in an alleged criminal enterprise. The prosecution asserts that Thug's supposed record label, Young Stoner Life or YSL, was not actually a music label but rather an Atlanta-based gang known as Young Slime Life. Over the span of 10 years, the group is accused of perpetrating numerous heinous acts, including murders, carjackings, armed robberies, drug trafficking, and various other criminal activities. Commencing in January 2023, the trial has already surpassed all previous records for length in the state of Georgia and is projected to continue until early next year. During an extraordinary incident in the courtroom last week, Steele made a stunning revelation. He disclosed that he had become aware of a confidential ex parte meeting that took place that morning between Glanville, the prosecutors, and a witness named Kenneth Copeland. Steele argued that this meeting, which occurred without the presence of defense counsel, provided clear grounds for declaring a mistrial. According to Steele, Glanville had assisted the prosecutors in pressuring the uncooperative Copeland to testify by threatening him with an extended prison sentence. Instead of addressing Steele's concerns, Glanville repeatedly demanded that he disclose the source of his information about the private meeting in his chambers, insinuating that the leak may have been illegal. Glanville warned Steele, "If you don't reveal how you obtained this information, we will have serious issues." However, Steele refused to comply, leading the judge to hold him in contempt and sentence him to 20 days in jail. The Georgia Supreme Court intervened later, temporarily suspending the sentence while it reviews Glanville's decision. In the motion filed on Monday, Steele strongly criticized Glanville for the undisclosed meeting, consistently describing it as a star chamber, alluding to an archaic legal procedure in England known for its secrecy and absence of fair proceedings. Steele argued that this incident demonstrates a collaboration between Glanville and the prosecutors, aiming to unfairly benefit themselves at the expense of Mr. Williams. According to Steele, the trial of Mr. Williams is fundamentally flawed, unjust, and devoid of any constitutional, statutory, and ethical measures that ensure a fair legal process. The coercion of witness Copeland to testify in a secretive and oppressive environment, known as a star chamber, is in clear violation of constitutional standards and cannot be justified by any person who values intellectual honesty. Steele provided a comprehensive account in the legal documents outlining his perspective on the ex parte meeting. According to Steele, after Copeland backed out of a deal to testify in exchange for immunity, prosecutors and Glanville allegedly issued a warning to the witness. They informed him that if he refused to testify, he could potentially be held in custody until the YSL case concluded, a process that is anticipated to span several years. Steele further asserts that Glanville handed Copeland a written document outlining the rules of perjury. Steele argues that this action was not subtle, but rather a deliberate move to persuade Copeland to change his stance and provide testimony, ultimately assisting the prosecution team in achieving their objective. According to Steele, the court actively took part in and was in attendance for the admonishments and threats directed towards Mr. Copeland. This behavior can be categorized as witness intimidation and coercion, effectively making the court a collaborator with the prosecution in their efforts to compel a key witness to testify. Alongside the content discussed during the meeting, Steele directed his criticism towards the clandestine nature of the gathering. He pointed out that Glanville and the prosecutors not only organized the meeting without providing prior notice, but also had no intention of disclosing it to the defense attorneys until Steele discovered it through alternative channels. Furthermore, he contended that Glanville's refusal to release a transcript amounted to an act of obstructing justice, and even speculated that court officers may have received instructions to deactivate their body cameras. In Tuesday's proceedings, Glanville rejected the motion to recuse, and despite Steele's earnest plea, he remained steadfast in his decision. Steele, recognizing the importance of addressing the ex parte meeting between Copeland and the judge, appealed to Glanville to reconsider stepping aside before he cross-examined Copeland on the witness stand. Glanville, Steele expressed, would assume the role of jury instructor, while Steele himself would inquire about any potential influence exerted by the court on Mr. Williams. Steele expressed his concern over the fairness of the situation. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.